In this video, I will explain what is FluentWait, how it is used to handle the synchronization issue. I will take a sample application to explain the concept. First, we will build a small automation script without using FluentWait. We will see what are the challenges that we are facing. Later, then we will understand the FluentWait API. Plus, we will see how to resolve the problem that we are facing with the help of FluentWait API. At the end, we will also understand what is the benefit of using FluentWait against thread.sleep provided by Java. All right, then let's get started. Let me create a sample class. Okay, so here is the sample application that we will be using for the demo. So let us quickly talk about this application. Using the automation script, we will click on this button. When we will click on this button, after 5 to seconds from the click, we will get to see the answer. We need to read the text of the answer and print it in the console. Similarly, once the answer 1 is visible, then now we need to click on this second button. When we click on this button, after 10 to 15 seconds from the click, we'll get to see the answer. Once the answer is visible, we need to read the text of that answer. The answer needs to be printed in console log of the program. That is the problem statement. So now let us go and start writing the program. So let's create an instance of WebDriver. Driver is equal to new cron driver. Okay. So now let us load the application that we want to test. Driver.get, and as we see, the application is available at this URL. So this should now load the application. Once the application is loaded, then we want to click on this first button. Let's inspect. Okay. Fine. So let us take the ID of this here, and we can say driver dot click, driver dot find element, by dot xpath, and that's sorry, and by dot id, and this is the id. So then after this, we want to click this element. So with this piece of code, we'll be able to click this button. So once we click, then we want to find this element. So let's take a look at its XPath. So we see it has this ID. So let us copy this ID. We want to find this element and then we want to read its text. So now let's say this is our question 1 and this is our question 2. So here we'll say driver dot let's say we'll say web element answer 1 is equal to driver dot find element by dot id, and let us mention the id here. Yes. So once we have the element, then we want to print the text of that, right? Answer dot answer 1 dot get text, and we want to print this using system out. So this will print. So this is a problem. This script will fail, as we know, right? Why it will fail is like as soon as it will click here, it will try to read the text of this element. However, this element becomes visible after a certain period of time. So this is something first we will see that it is failing. Then we will see how we will make use of explicit wait, specifically speaking FluentWait here to address this. Okay. So similarly, let's click on the this particular button. Let me copy the ID. So say driver dot find element by dot ID dot click. So we have clicked on the second question, and now let's fetch the text of the second answer. Let's see how we can find. So if we inspect this element, okay, so we see it also has this ID, so we can make use of this ID. Why it is showing an error? Okay, so we need to mention type here by dot id. Yeah, so once we have the answer, we need to print this answer. Once we have the element, we need to get the text of it and print it on the console. So answer 2 dot get text, and let's print it on the console. Yeah. Okay, so this is our script, and now this script is expected to fail, right? Because as soon as it will click on question 1, it will try to read the answer, but it is not present, so it will fail. So let us confirm our understanding. So let's if I run this. Okay, the script has got launched, and as we see, it has clicked on 1, then it has clicked on second. Okay, so as we see here, we have got an exception. Yeah, so we have got no such element exception, right? And this exception is coming on this particular element, and it is coming from line number 18. So when after clicking the first question, it is trying to read the, it is trying to fetch, it is trying to find this answer, right? But it is trying to find this particular button, but it is not available immediately. There is a delay, right, of 5 to 10 seconds. So system is throwing an error, no such element exception. So this is an important thing. So here, as we see, like the speed at which the automation script, this script is executing is much faster as compared to the actual application. Actual application is taking some time to display the answer one. However, the script just clicks on this and immediately tries to find the answer. So when there is a mismatch between the speed at which the automation script is executing and at which the actual application is getting loaded, this is called synchronization issue. In order to fix this issue, what we need to do is we need some waiting mechanisms with the help of which after clicking on this button, automation script should wait until this element is available for interaction. So such mechanisms are provided by different waiting strategies provided by Selenium. So one such waiting strategy is FluentWait, which we will discuss in this tutorial. Okay, let us move further and see how we can make use of FluentWait to fix this script. Okay, let us now go to the official website of Selenium. So if I search Selenium WebDriver, I get to see this website. So I open this URL. Here I go to downloads. Then under the downloads, I go to Java, and inside the Java, I go to API docs. As you know, we are talking about FluentWait API. So let's search on this class. So we have this class out here. So this is a class that we need to use. So as we see, this is a syntax for the same signature for the same. Sorry. So it implements the wait interface. It is an implementation of wait interface that may have its timeout and polling configured on the fly. So what it means is like this is how we will be using it. Let me copy this. I will then explain it. Let us import the libraries that are required. Okay, we don't have any error now. Yeah, so what it does is like, as you see, wait is an interface and fluent wait is a class. So we will use this class to dynamically make the application wait until a particular element is available for interaction or until the specified condition is met. So let us try to understand these things. So here we have mentioned with timeout. So this is the maximum time that the script will wait. And if you see it is off seconds, so it is 30 seconds, right? You can also mention this time in other units of time, for example, hours, milli, minute. However, here we will make use of seconds. So we have mentioned 30 seconds. Then it will poll every this particular interval, which is here like 5 seconds. So let's say we want to poll this application every 1 second, right? And then ignoring no such element exception. So this is the exception that will be ignored by the API. So now what happens is like we have created an instance of FluentWait, right? And this was the line where we were getting an error, where we want to add some wait, right? So we will make use of this wait variable here. How we will make use is wait dot, there is a method until, and it takes an argument expected conditions. So this is a class which has lot of different conditions mentioned. You could choose the desired condition that you want to be met before the next line of code is actually executed. So in our case, let's see. For example, one of the condition here is element to be clickable. So since we have, since our answer is coming in a button, so I think this condition could suffice. Like we could say before this element is, once this element is clickable, then it will move to the next line of code, and then automation script would be able to fetch it. So let's make use of this. So here we need to specify which element to be clickable, right? So which element to be clickable. So as you see, it is showing you by locator. So we will say by dot id. We can copy this thing from here. Okay. So this is the fluent wait that we have added. Fluent wait added, and its max waiting time is, as we have seen here, 30 seconds, right? 30 seconds, right? Interval, it will check at an interval of 1 second, right? As we have mentioned here, right? So now this should work. It should be able to find this element and it should be able to get. So let's similarly write fluent wait here as well. So let's say, like, if we say copy and paste this, and here it need to wait for answer 2, and okay, right. So now we should be able to execute this program successfully. It should print answer 1, its text, which is daily, answer 2, its check text, which is Japan. So let us try it out. Let me clear this console and let me execute this now. Okay. Okay, the application is getting launched. Okay. The automation has clicked on the blue color button and it has fetched the text daily and printed it. So this piece of code which was failing earlier is now passing. Instead of exception, it is printing the text daily, and plus again, instead of exception, it is printing the text Tokyo. So what it means is, like, now the synchronization problem earlier, the mismatch between the speed of automation and application has been handled using FluentWait API. So let us quickly take a look at the lines of code that we have added. So here we have made use of this. We have initialized the FluentWait class. So wait is an interface, and FluentWait is the implementation of wait interface. Plus it takes 3 arguments. So we have specified the timeout interval as 30 seconds. We have specified polling interval as 1 second, and we have specified no such element exception as the exception that will be ignored. So this is the first line of code that we need to write to implement a fluent wait. Once this is variable is initialized here, then at different places we can just make use of this wait interval here, right? So here we have specified the fluent wait. So before actually it is trying to read the answer number 1, we have tried to ensure that the expected condition element to be clickable. So which means that this particular element is clickable. So automation script would have a maximum time of 30 seconds, and it will keep polling to check after every 1 second which we have specified that element is clickable or not clickable. As soon as it is clickable, it will move to the next line of code. Let us validate that thing out here. So this says that the element was not displayed, question 1 was clicked at this particular timestamp, and then the text daily was appeared at this particular timestamp. So if we see, the difference between both of them is 6 seconds. So as soon as this text appeared, the automation script read this text and moved to the next line of code. So let us also validate our understanding here. How we can do is we can simply write some logging statements which will print the timestamp. So let's say we say date, or we can simply write here. Let's introduce the system out statements before and after the wait. That is when the wait is starting and immediately when the wait is getting over, because we want to know what is the actual time that the script waited. Is it this 30 seconds or is it the actual time as soon as the element was available, right? Okay. Okay, so here we write, so let us copy this. This is before and then this is after, right? And then we can write here similar lines for answer number 2 as well. Okay, right. So immediately after clicking, we are taking the timestamp and then answer 2 available, right? Similarly, let's put this thing here and make it as question 1 and make it as question. Okay, fine, fine. So we now have system out statements to give us the timestamp before and after the wait started and wait ended, right? When the wait started and when the wait ended, right? Hmm. So ideally here system would have, because we have specified the fluent wait and the maximum timeout is 30 seconds and polling time is 1. So here system would have 30 seconds, max time of 30 seconds. But what we are expecting is it will not wait for 30. It will continue to poll every second. And after 5 seconds, it will see that element is available. This condition element to be clickable is met. So it will move further. It will not wait for the entire 30 seconds, but after 5 seconds, the condition is met, it will make further. Okay, let me execute the program again to see the timestamps. Okay, so we now have the first timestamp. Question 1 clicked at 16:31:24, and then answer 1 available at 24. So after 8, after time gap of 8 seconds, answer 1 was available, right? And the answer 1 was available at 32. So it did not wait for the remaining time period until 30 seconds. It immediately printed a text daily and it moved to the next line. If you see, it is 16:31:32, right? So here it again waited for 13 seconds and then it printed the text. I hope this is clear to you. So this is a very important point and a key point. Like It is not waiting by time, but it is waiting on the basis of the condition that we have specified. And even after the maximum time, if the specified condition is not met, then an exception will be thrown and the program will fail. So let us also see that negative scenario. Let us also confirm that this is the time that we are specifying here is a maximum time and this is a polling time. If this condition is not met, program will come to halt. How we can do is like, let's make this locator as invalid. I will append some random number 11 here to the end. And now if we try to run this, we should get an error because this is now a invalid locator. It does not exist. Okay, if we see it has clicked on the question number 1, now it is waiting for the answer, this particular button. So already the answer has been displayed, but we don't see it being printed here. It is because the locator we have provided is invalid. So now it will wait for the entire period, which is 30 seconds. Earlier, it used to get the answer in 5 seconds, but now it will wait for the entire period and then it will move further. Right, so now as we see after 30 seconds it has printed the error. Let us validate that. So what is the exception? Exception is timeout exception. And then we see here like waiting for the element to be clickable by .id, and this 11, the random number which we have put, tried for 30 seconds. From where is this 30 second coming? It is coming from this parameter that we have specified with 1000. This is a retry interval. Where is this coming from? This is coming from this, right? Yeah. Okay, so with this we have finished the understanding of FluentWait. We covered the synchronization issue and then we addressed it by applying the FluentWait. We also saw the timeout exception that comes if the specified condition is not met. Yeah, so I think one of the most important point in addition to what we have covered is like, here, as you see, we have made use of element to be clickable condition. However, there are a lot many more conditions which are available. For example, the alert is present, attribute contains, likewise. You could explore all these methods one by one, and according to the need in your application, you could make use of the corresponding method. The approach to leverage or make use of any of these methods would be exactly same as we have used the method in the demo. Well, with this, we have come to the end of the video. I hope this was useful to you. Do let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Do consider to like, share and subscribe the video in case if you would like to see more videos on this from the channel. Thank you.